the editor of hopnews.com, only online at hopnews.com. With me this evening is a very special guest, and he's a very busy man these days, especially in light of recent events. Town Manager Norman Khumalo. Thank you for being here, Norman.
Robert, thank you for having me tonight.
I'm so happy you could save some time to do this, because I do know how difficult it is for you to get away. You are so busy, plus your family. I know that this is often family time for you. How many kids?
I have 5 beautiful kids.
And grandchildren too, you said, told me?
2 grandchildren.
Oh, wonderful. And
Yes.
you'll be going for ice cream after this?
Yes, I will be.
Yes, the
Yes.
chief of police will be driving him to meet the others for ice cream. No, that's not true. So, how long have you been town manager?
I think this is my 8th year now in Hopkinton.
That's wonderful. I think people are getting pretty used to seeing you do this and seeing the town run so well, which it is, isn't it?
And for the most part, it's because of the townspeople.
Uh-huh.
The volunteers we work with, the great effort that they put into anything that comes up before them is always a difference maker in everything we do.
Yeah, it is a very volunteer-oriented town government and town itself. People doing so. The latest example is that Hopkinton Fun page,
Yeah.
where Christina Anderson is getting all kinds of events organized together. She's on the Parks and Rec, and she's doing a great job. So that's just one example of the many volunteers in Hopkinton. The selectmen are all elected, but they appoint so many boards, right? The Board of Appeals is appointed.
Yes.
Planning Board is elected.
Elected.
What else off the top of your head is appointed?
Marathon Fund Committee.
Uh-huh.
Marathon Committee.
Mm-hmm.
Any committee that you see other than the Board of Selectmen, Planning Board, Board of Health, Board of Health,
Uh-huh.
all these, the rest of the committees are appointed.
And now, of course, early on in my career in the news here, I used to go to every meeting. Well, not every meeting, but once a night I would go to a meeting.
Mhm.
I said, oh, there's no meeting on Friday. Darn, what am I going to do? But now it's, you get a little older. That was in 2003 I started that, and now I don't go to every meeting, but I'll be at the planning board on Monday, because there's some critical stuff going on there with Paul Mastriani's project, and a tree that some people don't want to come down.
Yeah.
Now, when you before you were in Hopkinton, was it assistant town administrator in Wellesley? Was that your position? Or?
Assistant Town Manager in Westford.
Westford.
Yeah.
I was close. It's a W town.
It's a W town.
Wayland, Westford, Wellesley.
Walpole.
Walpole. Does that count? Is that one of the W's?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say Waltham, but I don't think that's one of the W's.
Yeah.
Oh, they've really gentrified their downtown, from what I understand.
Yes.
In Waltham. So, but before that, well, maybe long before that, you were from a very famous country, Zimbabwe.
Yes, Zimbabwe.
And
Formerly Rhodesia.
Rhodesia.
Yeah.
And was there, now they had a project, is that correct? Like South Africa did?
Yes.
Maybe not even in your lifetime, I don't know. But I do remember that there was a lot of problems over there in my youth.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there, but I know it was. And now more recently it's become more famous as a result of a lion, from that beautiful lion that was killed by a dentist.
Yes. What a very sad event.
Oh, and
Yeah.
how was this in your town or just your country, or that this happened?
It's actually in the state or the province that I
Uh-huh.
come from.
Oh, and what made this particular lion so special?
I think it's the connection that it had with the people,
Uh-huh.
both the people who live in Zimbabwe and the people who visit Zimbabwe.
Mhm.
It was very well known by anybody who visited the game park in Hwange. Yeah.
And then there was, I think there were photos, was it a leopard that one of the president's sons?
Yeah, it was a
Sure.
leopard. It was a
Yeah.
leopard. There were also images of buffalo and other wild
Oh,
animals.
that's too bad. You know, because so many people in this country, and I'm sure in Zimbabwe, are into conservation and making sure that these animals are not poached and so forth. And I'm not saying that was poached because that would be a crime. So I don't know how they were killed with some company that brings people over there, and is that what happens? Some company will bring someone over there and say, hey, this is our territory, and they let an animal go, or they just know where these animals are.
Yeah. In fact, there are companies in Zimbabwe that run hunting concessions.
Uh-huh.
They issue licenses to visitors and allow them and give them the permission to hunt down animals.
Is there any divide among people in Zimbabwe about the righteousness or the wrongness of this?
Yes, in fact, it's a very interesting divide at many levels. First level being Zimbabweans have their own traditional way of conserving resources, including animals. That's the first divide, where you have the traditional conservationists
Mm-hmm.
and then the modern conservationists. The next divide is the people who have money and
Mhm.
can pay for these licenses
Mhm.
are accessing resources that normally the villagers may not be able to because they don't have money.
Oh.
So there's that second divide. And then obviously there's the other divide where the people who run the concessions, for the most part, are afforded those concessions
Uh-huh.
through corrupt activities by the Mugabe
Oh
government.
my goodness, it's terrible. So, does anyone ever, is there any democracy there? Do the villages elect a leader, or is it just sort of naturally done by tribal kind of means? And I don't mean
Yeah.
tent tribes. I mean, I mean community tribal.
Yeah, the Zimbabwe has a system of holding elections, both at the local level as well as the national or federal level.
Mm-hmm.
The country holds elections every 4 or 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
but only one guy has been winning since 1980.
Remarkable. It's remarkable. Well, we do have that, we have that limit here in the United States, and I think Franklin Delano Roosevelt, after he won his fourth term, his opponents became committed to making sure that never happened again. And
Yeah.
I think the most recent example of how they shot themselves in the foot was Ronald Reagan probably could have won a third term.
Yeah.
But he those term limits. But I know that your temporary office is now located, and this is a good thing for everybody else to know too, that the town hall offices are now located at 80 South Street. And I think Eric might have a picture to put up to show everyone what it looks like when you approach. It's the old Caterpillar building at 80 South Street. You'll go up South Street, go past the Dunkin' Donuts, and this is the next building. So that's where a lot of the offices, the town manager who's sitting next to me, the town clerk is there too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, all town offices have come back together again.
Ah.
We felt it was important for the town residents to have everybody back together in one location.
Well, the Parks and Rec is still next door, though, right?
Park and Rec is still
At
here in the downtown.
85 Main.
Yes.
Okay, so so all the others are up there, all the ones that were at Town Hall. So as you go up South Street, it's right after Dunkin' Donuts, and you just saw the photo. We don't need to see it again, but you just saw it, so it'll be recognizable. For years, I lived down the street from that, and the Caterpillar company was there. and with their big yellow machines, and they would go to the North Pond House for dinner,
Yeah.
and après dîner treats. So a lot of townspeople are very familiar with that. Now, Town Hall, the reason that you're there is because of pipe burst, is that correct?
Yes, we had what turned out to be a catastrophic
Yeah.
pipe failure on the third floor,
Mm.
and water cascaded all the way down to the basement.
Was that on the weekend?
No, it
No.
was actually on a weekday, and we were at work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's right. That's a picture I did not put in Eric's little pile of pictures to show. Right. When I was looking for a photo of Town Hall, I did come across that with
Yeah.
all the people outside. I think it was a fire engineer, perhaps, something like that. So
Yeah.
it's not funny, but the Town Hall is like, it's almost like your favorite '55 Chevy. It just keeps breaking. I mean, when I look at the photos, when I look for a photo to put up, do you have the Town Hall art? When I look for a photo to put up, I ran across, and I didn't choose a photo of all kinds of repairs, but there were so many of the Town Hall with workmen on it.
Yeah.
With a new roof, with the envelope, repairing the envelope, and now it's catastrophic water break. So to me, it's like an old car that you just keep fixing, right? But
Yeah.
it's going to remain that way. Is that correct?
From my perspective,
Mhm.
that would be my wish, but
Yeah.
it's for the townspeople to decide.
Mhm.
I can share with you that every other community I've worked for, Robert,
Mhm.
I have never seen anybody push for leaving Town Hall. I mean, Town Hall is Town Hall.
Right.
This is where people get their birth certificates. This is where
Mhm.
people register to vote for the first time.
Right,
This is where
yeah.
people get married.
Yeah.
This is the democratic engine of the community. So
Right.
usually the tendency is to always preserve Town Hall as
Right.
that community place.
But an awful lot of people have suggested the old center school, reuse of the center school as Town Hall.
The selectmen have identified a committee.
Mhm.
It's the Center School Reuse Committee. They will be looking into the possible or projected future uses of that building, and that might include Town Hall.
Oh, or some departments,
Yes.
maybe not the whole thing.
Yep.
Maybe Parks and Rec. I think they have their eye on the gym over there. I've heard. Have you heard any really good suggestions to reuse that? Of course, there are still kids in it, folks.
Yep.
So I'm not talking about right now, kick the kids out, but we're going to see a picture of the school in process eventually, not at this moment, but when we look at some of the projects going on. So, did you say 9 years? Going on 9 years? You're doing it?
8 years. Yeah.
What do you look at as your crowning victory in Hopkinton? What's your, if someone said, well, what have you done there? What is your favorite thing? What would you put at the top of a resume should you find a better town somewhere? I know there are no better, but
exactly. There's no better community than Hopkinton. I think for me, it's the effort that the town put together, coming back and finding a solution to the center school.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. Yeah, I'm still paying the price for bringing some things to the forefront regarding the first proposal. There's still some angry people out there, but I think that the finished product is going to look great. It's going to be. How much did you have to do with that? You were on the building committee.
Yes.
The center school, not, is it the building committee or was it the other committee, the school use committee or the search committee or whatever it's called?
No, it's the elementary school building committee,
Oh, okay.
led by Joe Markey.
Uh-huh.
I think the recognition should go to the volunteers who
Mhm.
work for that committee. Um, Town hall's role perhaps should simply be seen as the, the work that we did to facilitate the discussions that occurred leading to the solution,
Uh-huh.
whereby specifically the selectmen and the school committee came together
Uh-huh.
and found a way to rally the community behind this project.
You know, and I think that just as an observer, these last 8 years, I believe you have been moving in a positive direction and bringing people together, just as you're describing without really taking the credit yourself. So you. I think that a lot of people credit you with a lot of the good things that are going on in town, and I understand that you don't want to leave out the volunteers. I do appreciate that. Do we have some of the current projects? Do you have, for instance, the school? Because we were just talking about that. And this was from a week and a half or so ago. It's getting, I guess, it looks like insulation being put on it. It'll be a substantially sized school, I think, from the looks of it. And it's sad to see the center school go. So this is what Mr. Khumalo was speaking about with this new school that the building committee, he and the building committee, and so many others helped facilitate this go-around. And then we have a DPW. This is something I'm interested to know about. Do you know when that ETA is on that completion?
Yes, and John Westerling is on record as guaranteeing that this building will open in November.
A good time for it.
Yes.
It's surprising that after all these years of people saying, "Oh, there's no room to go there. We have to go to Fruit Street," and I don't mean to put anyone down by that. I'm just making an observation. It's just very surprising that it looks like it's going to be a good fit.
It's coming out as bland, and I think what you are referring to, Robert, is what I've also enjoyed in this community, namely that people are engaged. People are always willing to express their viewpoints. And it is because of that engagement and facilitating these discussions that leads to the wonderful projects similar to the DPW building, the library, center school, and every other project that we do in town.
Mm-hmm. Well, from what I understand, because you may not know that Dan McIntyre was my guest not that long ago, and he did express such pain over the loss of his brother, the recent loss of Tom, and but he did say that there was a movement afoot, in my words, to name the new DPW building after his brother. Any progress on that, or anything you can report?
Yes, in fact, that effort is led by Selectman Brandon Tedstone.
Oh, very good.
At the last meeting, he specifically asked the selectmen to set up the public hearing
Mm-hmm.
for the naming of the building in honor of Tom McIntyre.
And is there a meeting this week? This Tuesday?
No, there's no meeting this Tuesday.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Then I have to go report on it. But I always enjoy the meetings. They're such fun.
Yeah.
So that's one. That's once again a volunteer. Tom did so much to make these artifacts that grew in the town and got old, to brighten them up, shine them up. And we went over some of them, such as the bell in front of the Woodville Fire Station,
Yep.
the urn in front of, I don't know if it's an urn, what you call an urn, it's upside down. He explained it was formerly a street lamp
Yep.
base. And so that just speaks once again to the volunteerism that you've so eloquently put forth here and championed. It's a good thing. What other projects now? Eric, what have you got over there that you can move forward here?
How about the beautiful library?
The library. Oh, Oh, I put that there on purpose to to begin a dialogue, because to continue a dialogue that I had at the planning board when I wouldn't say complained, but pointed out that there is an enormous tree in that blocks the view of both sides of that building from at least one direction, maybe two. And I said it would be really good to take that tree down, and I was told by one of the people involved that that's staying. But look at what it does to the architecture. It really, to me, that tree spoils the building behind it, because you can't see the building behind it. And that is a wide tree. So that's just my 2 cents. But as I see the building progress, it looks so much like the beautiful drawing. So it's going to be a gorgeous building. I'm going to spend a lot of time there, I think.
Yeah, and again, it's thanks to the efforts of the volunteer permanent building committee. They have done a fabulous job managing the construction of this project, and it's expected that the building will be completed September of this year.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
If you see the glass going in on the front, give me a buzz, would you?
Definitely.
Because that's the crowning touch, I think, to that building. That they will be putting glass where there was once a connecting hallway,
Yeah.
more or less, between the old Episcopal church and the original library, which were not joined
Yeah.
until I'm not sure what year, but they didn't build both of them to be joined. They were just adjacent. So
I agree with you on that point. I have shared with many people that I believe that is going to be one of the most beautiful elements in that building.
yeah,
Because the glass allows your view to penetrate the building from front to end.
yes.
And it's going to be beautiful.
It will, and it'll be glass on both sides, is what you're saying, on the rear and the front of that space.
Yes, for the front portion, yes.
For the connecting portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really for anyone who's seen I'm sorry I should have picked the drawing to put up, but I wanted to make my point with that obnoxious tree. I mean, I love trees. Who doesn't love trees? We have to have them. We need them, but not that tree. They could transplant it to the back where some of the neighbors would rather see the tree than the back of the building, as beautiful as it can be. And Laura Barry,
Yeah.
was she on that committee you just mentioned?
Yes, indirectly through the foundation. And the foundation, remember, has done a fabulous job raising almost $1 million to support this project.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Again, another volunteer team
Yeah.
doing fabulous work.
Yeah, and she just came. I never heard her name before.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here she is, and she's coming up with all kinds of events to gather money to put toward the library and the 1,000 Homes thing.
Yes.
Just fantastic work by Laura Barry on that committee. Was it the Friends Committee she was on, or
The Library Foundation.
the foundation?
Yes.
Okay, great job, Laura Barry. Are we missing anything? I mean, we can't name all the volunteers, but have I neglected to? And the downtown, you got the downtown.
Downtown, yes, downtown
Yeah.
project. As you know, the town has submitted the 25% design to Mass
Mhm.
DOT.
Yeah.
We are now working with the chamber to schedule a public hearing. We in fact did something interesting. Through our IT department and town website.
Yeah.
We sought advice from the community
Right.
on the
On
best time.
Which time you would like to do that?
Exactly.
Well, we've had that at the top of Hot News since you started.
Thank you. For
I
the-
think I took it off today because Josh said, yeah, we're closing it out now.
Yeah.
And so when are we going to get to do that?
We're meeting with the chamber next week,
Mhm.
and we will go through the details of the meeting, and obviously we'll
See which time is the best.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we also received some interesting pieces of advice from the community members
Oh, good.
in terms of how we should set up the meeting.
Mhm.
Most people are very clear that the meeting should not go beyond 9 p.m. And so we will try and find the most appropriate time for holding the public
Well,
hearing.
how about not before 9 a.m.? I'll submit that suggestion right now.
Yeah.
So you've got all this great stuff going on, and Eric, Eric, are there any more projects on the screen? Time? Alrighty. You know something? It's time for you to have ice cream with your family.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone put their hands together, and please thank Town Manager Norman Khumalo for taking time out of his very busy day, and I know it is very busy, and all the things he's done for the town and how he's brought volunteers together and championed the progress of Hopkinton. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Robert.
it.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
We'll say good night to the people, and Eric will roll the credits.
Where's the